As an Instagram strategist who started life helping big name brands like Canon, Disney Baby and Quorn grow their communities online, and then moved into setting up a niche Instagram account focused on front doors, and now helps small business owners generate more leads and sales and inquiries through Instagram, I know a thing or two about Instagram strategy. And so I thought today I would share my current Instagram strategy with you so that you can take all of the guesswork out of how you should best approach yours and maybe take some inspiration from this service provider right here. This is Future Bella beaming in because Instagram announced last week that they are making some changes to the platform, and really that is being driven by the fact that the app is much more of a video first platform than it used to be. It used to be very much focused on photos. This isn't new. This is something that we have known about. This is definitely something that Instagram has been leaning towards in the last couple of years, and it's why they have put such an emphasis on Reels. But I think because Instagram have come out and said it, it has left a lot of people unsettled. I want you to not panic, and I also wanted to come to say at the beginning of this video that the strategy I walk you through, that I am focusing on in this video, it gears towards what Instagram is doing as well. So if you want to take anything from this video, then just know that it does align to the direction that Instagram is going in as well. So now let's carry on with the video. Now, while I am a service provider, I also sell digital products. I have an online course, I do one-to-one strategy, but I also work with a lot of product-based businesses. So yes, this is my strategy as a service provider, but you could take a lot of what I am talking about today and apply it to your product-based business or e-commerce brand as well. The rules apply. A lot of the same principles will work for you as they work for me. So how this video is going to work is I'm going to break it up into two parts. I'm first going to talk about my grid content and my strategy for that, and then I'm going to talk about Instagram stories. So first, let's get straight into the grid content. So I post 3 times a week to my grid, generally Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I find that that posting cadence is the best one for me. It's the one that I can stick to consistently over time. It's the one that I have stuck to consistently over time. Some weeks I will post a bit more, and very occasionally I will post a bit less, but 3 times a week is the optimum amount for me. And that is the amount that we were posting when I was working for big consumer brands like Canon and Disney Baby. So if the big guys are doing it, then why can't we? The strategy I follow is explained in a lot more detail in this video here, so definitely go and check out that video after this one if you want to go into more detail about that. But essentially, the framework I use aligns my content to the customer journey. It taps into the psychology of users on the platform. So what are the reasons that people come to Instagram? They come for inspiration, they come for education, they come for connection, and they come for retail therapy. Some people come to Instagram for one of those reasons primarily. Other people come to satisfy all of those different motivations. But my job as a business and as somebody who really wants to market my business effectively on Instagram, my job is to satisfy those desires with my content. In other words, I want to create content that inspires, that builds relationships with people, that teaches them something, and that promotes my products and services, because I am a business after all. I do want to make money and sustain myself and grow. So how do I do this? Well, each week I share a combination of carousel posts, Instagram Reels, and text graphics. And sometimes I will share images, photos of myself as well. But my main focus, the main content types I cycle through are those 3. So each week I share a combination of all 3 to inspire, educate, and sell to my audience. Now, I share Reels because they are a brilliant format to reach more people. Since Instagram is putting so much emphasis behind Reels, they really want people to create them and consume them. And so by me creating Instagram Reels, I'm getting in front of lots more people and connecting with my audience in a whole new way. My best performing Reels have been those where I share 1 or 2 juicy, actionable tips, or where I really get inside the head of my ideal client and reflect an experience back to them. I share carousel posts because people love interacting with carousel posts, and because of that, the Instagram algorithm really seems to love them as well. Remember, the Instagram algorithm is just a reflection of user trends. The algorithm just shares and promotes more of what people are already liking to engage with. And carousel posts is such a great format for service providers, but also product-based businesses or e-commerce brands, because they're like mini blog posts, and they're a really great way of sharing tips, insider knowledge, tutorials, or step-by-step processes. Reels and carousel posts are incredibly savable, and text graphics, which I use to share inspiration or my perspective on my industry, they are very shareable. And saves and shares are two really key metrics on Instagram that sends positive signals to the Instagram algorithm that people are loving your content. And so the more shares and saves I can garner, the better my content performs and the more people that it reaches. In terms of the topics of content, the ideas that I'm sharing, every single week I make sure to share education. This is non-negotiable as a service provider. I really want to be informing my audience, teaching them something. So that is non-negotiable. And then alongside education, I will mix between either personal posts where I really talk more about me and my business so I can build connections with my audience. I will promote my services and my products, or I will inspire my audience with my perspective or some words of wisdom about Instagram and growing an online business. Now let's talk about Instagram stories. Now, as far as the cadence goes, as far as how often I'm posting on Instagram stories, I share 4 times a week on Instagram stories. And I found that sharing this amount is the best way to retain people, to keep people watching my Instagram stories, and to maintain a good level of views and engagement. You do not need to be posting Instagram stories every single day. Not at all. Every story that I share is around 5 slides long, and I stick to this amount because research came out last year that found that Instagram stories with around 5 slides was the optimum amount that keep people retained from beginning to end. What does retained mean? It just essentially means that if you can keep your stories short and sweet, you will keep people watching from beginning to end. If you have an overly long Instagram story, people will tend to drop off. They always drop off naturally, but the more succinct you can make it, the shorter you can tell your story, the better. But what is even more important than the length is the structure. You always want to make sure, and I always make sure with my Instagram stories, that every single one I share tells a story, i.e. it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So at the beginning of every week, I will sit down and I will roughly plan out 4 Instagram story ideas that I'm going to share over the next 7 days. And I make a note of how I'm going to start those stories, how I'm going to end them, what is the call to action going to be, and then what content is going to be in the middle, and therefore what content I need to capture or create, or perhaps I already have some content that I can use for the middle section of those stories. By roughly outlining my stories ahead of time, it ensures that I do actually make sure I have a structure with every story. It might sound like a lot of work right now, but I promise you this is not time intensive. It's literally just me making a note of, okay, how am I going to open it? What's the end going to be? Okay, and what 2 or 3 story slides am I going to have in the middle? And what ideas do I share every single week? Well, you might be pleased to know that it's very similar to my grid content. So what I like to do is, once I have planned out my next 2 weeks worth of grid content, I look at these ideas and I pull from those ideas and use them as inspiration for my Instagram stories. I won't share the same idea on the same day, so I won't share the same idea on the grid and then share the same idea on stories. I mix it up, but I don't reinvent the wheel. I don't think of fresh, original ideas for the stories. I just take the ideas that I've planned for my grid and I turn them into Instagram stories. So that means I'm sharing a combination of educational stories, so mini trainings, personal Instagram stories that usually looks like a day in the life, promotional Instagram stories where I'm talking about my products, my services, how people can work with me that month, and usually I intersperse some testimonials, some client feedback into those. And then the other idea, the 4th idea for that week, I can kind of do whatever I want. Sometimes I will promote my latest YouTube video, other times I might do another day in the life, sometimes I might do a behind the scenes of a project I'm working on, or a behind the scenes of my process, how I work on my strategy, how I do something. I always use Instagram story stickers as much as possible because they are the best way to start conversations with people and get my audience interacting with me, which is a big, big thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you enjoyed the look inside of my Instagram strategy, what that looks like. I didn't go into a huge amount of detail about things like captions, but I've made a whole bunch of other videos which you can access if you click here. You can have a look at my 2021 Instagram strategy playlist. All of my latest and greatest videos about how you can put together a really robust Instagram strategy are within that playlist. And if you would like to watch my recent video about how to create really great Instagram content, then definitely check out this video here. I will see you next week for a brand new video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.